Hello. Thank you for joining me tonight when I will be talking about what are you healing and what needs healing. I'm your host, Amber Moore, and this is Real Boys Talk. If this is your first time with me, let me tell you what this is all about. Real Boys Talk is a nonprofit 501c organization that is caters and its mission is about the health disparities and wellness of African American masculine identified gay females. So, what I do as a masculine identified gay female is give you some of these issues from my viewpoint. Everything is not a right or wrong. This is once again, this is my viewpoint. And I take topics that are out there and I talk about them. I get a little research, get us some resources, and I bring them to you for you to have a conversation offline with others. That is the whole point of this, is that hopefully what I say and the information that I give you stirs something up within, and then you take it to your friends and you all have a conversation as well. Now, there are some days when I invite my bros of Sigma Omega Phi Fraternity Incorporated to come and shoot the shit. All right. So you want to check those out too, because then you get somebody else's opinion on a topic. We take all kinds of topics. There is no limit of conversation. There is no topic off limits. Everything is up for grabs. Everything in terms of how we talk about it, what we say, what if you don't like it, you might like it, you might not. It doesn't matter. It's the fact of the matter is that we are expressing ourselves. This is a safe zone, safe area for us to say what we really feel. So today, again, I will be talking about what are you healing and what needs healing. This was brought to me. It was a question that someone asked me because we all go, everything right now is the trendy thing. And yes, I'm gonna put it that way. It is the trendy thing to be healing. Oh, I'm gonna take a pause out and I'm not gonna do such and such because I'm healing. Well, what are you healing? Do you even know what needs to be healed? When it was asked to me, I thought I had my shit together. I thought, oh yeah, I'm healing. I didn't heal up, blah, blah, blah. Then she said to me, she said, well, what are you healing? I don't, I don't know. I just know I'm healing. So let's talk about that. Because it really excited me. Let me tell you where I was when I got this question asked to me. I was at this amazing event Saturday, just last Saturday here in Atlanta with Reign Supreme. Brittany, if you don't know, her name is Brittany. She is the founder of this, or her and her best friend founded this nonprofit organization called Reign Supreme. It is a great organization. I hope that you will, if you missed Saturday, if you missed Friday, they did a spoken word event Friday, and then Saturday was a workshop. The workshop was called The MASC, the Dom, the God. I love that. I never thought of myself as a god, but that kind of struck me in a nice kind of way. Say that to yourself. Ooh, I'm a god. It sounds really good. But anyway, let's move on. So during that, Brittany put this workshop together. One, so that we as masculines would have a safe space to speak whatever we needed. She brought some tools with her, some individuals that were able to also guide us through this journey that we might have just stepped into, not knowing we was ready to step into. All right. Great, amazing people as well. We had the gay aunties there. We had, I believe her name is Monica Renee. She's a therapist. If I get a chance, I'm gonna find her information. I will be putting that on Real Boys Talk website for those to view. She's very nice, very knows her stuff, kind, and she will be able to do a lot for you. I just by speaking with her at that event, I felt comfortable, if I could say it that way. I felt very comfortable with her. And she was the one who said that. She was the one who asked the question, well, what needs healing? What are you healing? And we all just looked around and kind of went, oh no, but I'm healing. And then you go, well, I don't know what I'm healing. So let's talk about it. Once again, as we know, there's energies, and energies come, they give, they get, and we keep. All right. That's one of the things. So as we look at this newfound moment that we're having, and we realize that, hey, maybe our relationships with our job are not working, our relationship with our children is not working, our relationship with our partner, or we don't have a partner. We're looking to try to get a partner, trying to date. And you all have heard me say there's something wrong. Somebody done peed in the dating pool, if you ask me. But okay. So if we are looking at all of those things, we also have to look at what is our intention and what are we trying to achieve? What is the ultimate goal of healing? What are you trying to get? You trying to get past some things? Are you trying to recognize some things about yourself? I'm going to tell you what I found. When I really thought about what am I healing? Okay. And I will express this. I was in a 7-year relationship with an amazing woman. Okay. And this woman was brought in my life to really show me, one, who I truly am as a sexual being. Okay. She introduced me to some things that I'd never thought about that I would be comfortable doing, being involved in, being a part of, even looking at more so what would I want to dive into, what would I like to try. She did that. Plus, she also mended my heart because I had just come out of a pretty rough relationship, not so much because of the relationship wasn't good, it was that the person passed. Or they at the time they were very sick. And we were no longer able to be together due to their family situation and what their family wanted. Um, but anyway, so she came into my life and was able to heal my heart, mend it, because it was really chopped liver. Okay. And she was able to show me that I can love, I deserve to be loved. That's what she brought to me. And I think that that's something what I brought to her is that there is the opportunity for her to understand that there is someone out there that can love her the way she truly wants to be loved. Now, she has a different type of what her goal is of love is different than what mine was. Even though we were very much together, we very much worked well together. But because we were on different sides of the country, it was very hard for us to keep that relationship. So basically, I learned through this whole process that I am a touch person. That's my love language is touch, feel. Okay, I love to be able to hug on my woman, kiss on her, hug her, touch her, all that. And if you're on the other side of the country, when I have that desire to want to do that, it doesn't really work. So we had to realize, one, who we really were to each other. And it became that we're best friends. That is my best friend. She knows me better than anybody next to my mama. Okay. And so with all of that, we look at what was I trying to when that relationship ended, I was not wounded from that relationship. Okay. She was not wounded from the relationship either. Because sometimes you get in a relationship and when you end it, yes, you're wounded. You got to mend yourself. You got to figure out what it is that happened. Well, COVID came. Okay. COVID allowed me to sit in my shit, which is where I say, when people ask me, I say I healed during the COVID time period. Us being quarantined, me not being able to go places, me not being able to travel, me not being able, everything changed for me. It was my time of the storm that I had been under was moving away. Y'all know that song, "The Storm." I told it to move away. Y'all need to check that out. That is an amazing song. That song has gotten me through some really, really good time. I don't know who sings it. I just know that it's called "The Storm." It is a gospel. It is something you want to put in your repertoire or on your playlist for motivation. Okay. But what I learned during this time was that of course, I was coming out of the storm. Okay. And for me, I was healing. How I did that, and this is an overall healing, is how I figured this after she asked the question of what are you healing and what needs to heal. We look at the big piece. Oh, I just got out of a relationship. I need to heal from that relationship so I go to the next one. Okay. That is the lesbian, let's say that's the lesbian slogan. Let me heal from this one so I can get to the next one. Well, let's break it down a little bit deeper. What I was realizing is that, one, my healing for the next relationship was me sitting in my shit, me understanding that what I was actually doing was looking at the relationships that I had been in. I went all the way back. I went to where I was dating men. I went all the way back and I looked at those relationships. And it wasn't all because I desired a woman why our relationship didn't work with the men that were in my life. It was because there was just something that either they weren't able to give me, and it wasn't about sex and my preference for a woman. It was the human being, and with us, we weren't able to make that happen. So then I looked at, okay, what roles I played in those relationships. I looked at my relationships that I'm in now as a gay female, and said, what roles did I play? Because I will tell you, me not breaking up with these women that are and men in my life and just ending the relationship where they walked away and said, I don't want to be with you. I never really looked at what role I played in the destruction of the relationship, the ending of the relationship. So that's important. And when I did look at it during the COVID lockdown, I realized that one, I went out, I remember going out of my home and I stood at my mailbox and looked at my house. And some people I've told this to, some people I haven't, but I'm going to share it with you all. I looked at my house, my shrubs, you couldn't see my house. It was always a problem when I had things delivered because they could never find my house. Now I live on a pretty popular street. Okay. It's easy to see my house. You drive this, you see it. Well, it was because the shrubs had been built up around my home that it basically cocooned my home. That's how I had learned to protect myself. I didn't have to worry about anyone hurting me, anyone bothering me, anyone being in my space because I had built this cocoon and my house wasn't happy. I was not happy. That is the first time I realized and admitted that I had entered depression. I had anxiety and stress. Okay. So healing, one, I think it begins with us understanding where we are. Where did I get, how did I get, not so much how I got here, why am I here? And what is this here doing for me right now? Well, the here was protecting me from out there, but I needed to be out there and I needed to be able for people to see my home. And my home wasn't happy. And I don't know if you all understand that, but when it's almost like everything's connected, the energy. Energy is everywhere, right? So if I'm trying to bring positive energy into my life, but I have a negative outside, then it's very difficult to be positive, right? So I went back in my house, got online, went to Walmart. I bought a saw, a chainsaw. I bought a hedger. I bought a shovel. I bought bags, and I started slowly but surely cutting stuff down and opening my home so that you could see it. And my house got brighter. My house felt happier. I started feeling happy. I started walking. I started exercising. I started really focusing on myself because my physical, my inner self, my inner health just wasn't where it needed to be. Now I wasn't unhealthy, but it just wasn't where it needed to be. Okay. So I can honestly say that the beginning of a healing, what did I need to heal? And what needed to be healed and what was I healing? It was just the beginning factor, which really was that first layer. Peeling back that onion, I peeled off that first layer and threw it in the trash. Okay. But she wanted us to dig deeper. She wants us to look at what are you healing or what needs to be healed. Because sometimes, baby, we just doing we doing a wash. Okay. A whole bath. That's all we doing. Some of us are out here going, I need to heal. And they doing a whole bath. And they ain't really, because they don't really want to deal with what really truly, because you got to look at yourself. You got to be honest. If I'm a hot fucking mess, I need to say I'm a hot fucking mess. Okay. But you got to be honest. You got to be ready to be honest. That's the other thing. You can't heal nothing, absolutely nothing, not even that first layer. You can't peel it off if you are not ready to be honest. And this is a time and place where you are by yourself. This is integrity, baby. This is when you by yourself. Don't nobody know what you're saying. Don't nobody know what you're doing, but they will see the actions when you get out there if you don't do it right. Okay. So being honest with oneself is the only way. I'm going to tell you, it's the only way to get that first layer to start peeling is to be honest with who you are at that time that you're sitting looking in that mirror. Because I believe you must look in the mirror. I believe you must look at yourself. And you got to say to yourself, what is it that I bring to the table? Who am I? I had to do that as well. Who am I? Because when you start looking at who you are, you start figuring out what needs to be healed. And one of the things that she mentioned, and I'm gonna give the example that she gave, and I won't tell it as exciting as she told this, but she made a statement. She says, she wears two watches. Okay, she had two watches on. And she said, wear one, which is the Apple Watch, which is an adult watch, and she wears a rug rat watch. Why does she wear a rug rat watch? Y'all know, uh, Susie Carmichael, all that. Okay, she wears that because as a little girl, she loved that show. She even had the T-shirt on to go with the watch. It was in the shoes were all childlike, and I say that in a really great way because it all flowed with what her image and what she was saying to us. And it was that you must also, as you start to look at what needs to heal and what are you healing, you got to look at a lot of things that we have within based off of are coming from the little person that we were when we were younger. And I realized, and what I mean by all of this is I realized with me, I loved tennis shoes as a kid. Tennis shoes was my thing. And I always wanted certain types of tennis shoes, right? I wanted this type of that type. Not always getting it, but I liked it. Sometimes, most of the time, I did get the tennis shoes I wanted, but there were a couple that I just wasn't willing to ask for, but I really did like. So, and I'm not a Jordan kid. I wear Nike, but it's not the kind that's highly expensive or very popular. Okay. So when she made the statement about the little girl and the healing process that she was, for herself, one of the things she had to look at was the little girl. And I think we avoid the little person inside of us. I think some of us don't even realize the little kid is still there. Some of us are still in that kid format. Because according to Dr. Phil, and I'm going to go off a little bit, according to Dr. Phil, trauma stifles us where we are at that time. So if you had trauma, and I'm gonna give an example, if you were molested at a young age, your inner little person is still there, begging for whatever it is you missed that would have healed that piece. There is a part of what you need to realize needs to be healed, is that little girl. If you didn't have your mother in your life, okay, let's say your mother was never there and you were raised by your grandmother, but you always had this desire, no matter what your mother did, you just let her have a pass. You always accepted it. That's that little girl that feeds, that says, I need my mommy. I don't care what she looks like. I don't care what kind of state of mind she's in. If she's here with me, then I'm feeding that little girl the mommy that I needed. Okay. Now, for me, it was the tennis shoes. So I realized that when I purchased, because and it was funny because I had just purchased about 3 pairs of tennis shoes at the time of when we went to the meeting. I just purchased some tennis shoes, and I realized that I purchased tennis shoes when she made the statement. I realized then I was buying tennis shoes for the little girl inside of me who always liked. There were some high tops Adidas that I liked. There was some old school Nike high tops that I liked. I am a high top kind of kid. I like high tops. So that's what I had purchased. My last round of tennis shoes that I just purchased, that's what they were. So that kind of let me know that the little person in me, and you got to ask yourself, what are the things that you really like doing that really are something that you couldn't do when you were younger? You guys have heard where people talk about, I didn't have no money, I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that. Now they got money, now they're able to do those things. That's what that is. You're feeding that little girl, little boy within you that didn't get healed. Did it, and by you doing those things, by me buying tennis shoes that I would have bought, that I wanted to wear when I was younger, when I was a kid or teenager, in high school or in middle school, that allows me to feed and heal whatever was wrong, whatever that little girl needed. Okay. Apparently she needed them tennis shoes. Those things were kind of important. Now, as I go along, I have to ask myself other things, right? Um, there are certain, and as we hopefully all of this will come back to you to tie up. Again, it'll always go back to unpacking that parachute. It'll always go back to that episode. If you have not checked that first episode out, please do, because it is amazing how it is still always going to be about packing that parachute. Because here again, what do you need? What needs healing and what are you healing? All does depend on what you have in your backpack. Because if you ain't got the right shit in the backpack, you ain't healing nothing. Okay. And then you got to ask yourself, is your healing somebody else? Or is your healing yourself? Now, she said, my healing somebody else. Exactly. Are you healing for someone else? Are you healing because you heard that, hey, that girl such and such, she says she'll talk to you, but dog, you can't be liking dogs. You got to get rid of your dog. You got to get rid of this. You can't have all the puppy stuff everywhere. Like you like to have little stuffed puppy. Can't have none of that. She don't like none of that. And in so many ways, those things were healing items for you because the little girl, little boy, and you always wanted a dog, or you felt protection from having a pet. Now you give that up for being with somebody else. No, don't do that. Now you're not healing that. You're now, excuse me, creating a whole nother wound. You ain't healed that one, that the dogs, the pets, that was taken care of, right? And I'll tell you, if you're an only child, then please understand this is very difficult to realize what you need to heal and what needs healing, I think. Now, if you are one who has siblings that you grew up with, let me know if you feel the same way. I do think that it's a different road that only children are writing down when we have to heal, because we heal differently. I personally heal like this. I look at it, I go, okay, I'm not dealing with that shit. I put it in a box, tie that box up, tape that box up, wrap that box up, and I throw it in the deepest mental ocean I have. And I don't deal with it no more. It's over with. It's done with it. I'm over it. I keep it pushing. Eventually, I forget that happened. I forget that's in the ocean of the pits of hell of my mental. I don't even think about it. But did I heal it? No, of course not. I didn't heal it. You know what I did? I just put it off. But does it get bigger? To some people, you can say, hey, it depends on, and I'm gonna say it depends on what it is that I need to heal, that I did not heal, that I put in that box. Okay. And I will say this, and this is what a lot of it is. You know, as we go through, or as I've noticed, as I throw whatever it is I don't want to deal with into the pits of hell of ocean that I've wrapped all this stuff up in, I realize then that uh there are things that I need to do if I'm going to do something like that. And am I actually healing anything by doing that? No, I'm not. It's still there. It's still waiting on me for one day. For some people, it will get bigger because they're still going through stuff. That keeps happening to them. Whatever it is they put in that box and threw over to the side, it's still happening. So it's just making that box bigger and bigger. Now, for me, if I've thrown it in the box, I don't deal with you or it ever again. I don't have, you can be in the same room. I won't even know if you did something to me. I've thrown it in the waste. It'll never come back up. And you'll never be able to do that again to me. Okay. That's not a good way of dealing with stuff because it's not healed. It's just put off. It's just to the side. Okay. It is not healing at all. Not at all. So let's look at all of that. Okay. Let's continue to talk about that. So there was an equation that they gave us too, which I thought was very interesting, very, very interesting equation. It was thought times intention to the second power of action equals manifestation. That means you got to think about what it is that is going on that you now want to deal with. And then you got to, I'm sorry. You got to think about, you got to know, you got to put thought in. What is my thought? What am I trying to heal? I personally trying to heal my heart. But here's the thing, is my heart what needs to be healed? I don't think so. Now that I've listened to her, I don't think that's part of my equation anymore. But once again, we're going to think about what is it that we are trying to accomplish? What is it that we need to heal? Then my intention is to heal, to get to this person that I want to be with, that's made for me. Okay, so as you all know, I'm looking for my unicorn. I know you out there. I know you out there, ma'am. I'm looking for you, ma'am. But anyway, and then we power it by 2 with action. And then we're going to get manifestation. What does that mean? That means I think about what is it that is stopping me from doing X, Y, and Z. Okay. Why can't I find my unicorn? Let's just Put that out there real quick. Well, it could be because I don't go out enough. She ain't gonna come show up at my house talking about some, here I am and I love you. It does not work like that. Wish it did, but it doesn't. So that means that my thought, I want to now be in a solid, strong, healthy relationship with a fabulous woman that's made just for me. Then guess what? What's my intention? Oh, my intention is to marry. My intention is not just to date. I'm dating for a purpose. Okay, so I'm gonna times it by two for action. That means I have to get my ass out into the public and be out there. Do I be on dating apps? I am on some dating apps. Am I happy about it? No, that's a whole nother conversation that I'm gonna have with my bros on shooting the shit. So that's something we are gonna talk about is these dating apps. I think they're full of shit. But hey, we'll have that conversation later date. That means that if I'm taking the action, what am I gonna manifest? Um, I should I should manifest my unicorn. Yes, that is probably a very, very simple and very easy way of putting this thought pattern of what do you need to heal, what needs healing, and how and what are you healing? Because who's to say you're healing the right thing? Let's talk about that real quick. You could be healing something that don't even need to be healed. It ain't even broke. But you don't realize that because we don't always take an assessment of who we are after each situation. For example, your job. You got a boss that just keeps nitpicking at every damn thing you do. Everything that you do, you can't figure out what's going on. But it hurts you because you work so hard and you know that you really do deserve the job that you have. As a matter of fact, you probably deserve their job, but you're just trying to make it through. You like, I can do this, that, and that, but you keep having this boss on your ass. Then the assessment that you have to do is ask yourself, is it time for me to start looking for the next thing? Or am I able to really grow where I am? And if I'm able to grow where I am, let's look at what that entails. Does that mean I'm going to continue to work for Bob or Jenny? No, it could mean that I'm gonna work in their spot. So I need to figure out how to get them promoted. So maybe because they're an a-hole, I need to step back a little bit and just assess what they're looking to do so that I can figure out what I need to do. And in healing with the damage, because you can be damaged at work, guys. You can be damaged by you doing your job, and then you got the drama of being in an office space to being having to deal with different personalities, different people. Those things can hurt you. And you might not, and I don't mean that in so much ways of the technical or the easy fact of, oh, your feelings are hurt. It can hurt you in terms of the growth that you're trying to do. It could discourage you from ever trying to get better educated, find out the next thing, take workshops, take training classes, even want to do more. You could just be like, look, I go to work, I get a check. That's it. I come in at 9, I leave at 5. I'm not staying no later. At 5 o'clock, I don't care what I'm doing. I drop it and it'll be picked up at 9 o'clock tomorrow. That's something you might have to heal from because you no longer have the the woo to go out there and bust your ass for a job because you go, well, they don't appreciate me. That's a hurtful thing. But you have to figure out what is it that you need to heal to go to the next phase, because otherwise you become complacent and you're stuck. And we don't want any of that. Then you get mad. Then you don't like your job. Then you half-ass do it. And then you wonder why now you're on an unemployment line. We don't want none of that. Okay. So those are things that we got to look at. And here's the thing, I'm gonna put it on a more personal level, is that when we end relationships, I understand that everybody's different, timing's different, all of that stuff. So you got to figure out what your timing is and what you need. Once again, here we go. What you need to heal to be able to be okay to go to the next step. The next step is really basically, we all can say we love ourselves. Okay. I love me. I love being around me. I can be with me every day, all day, 24/7, 365 days a year. That is not a problem. And COVID showed me that. COVID brought that to light. But I also had to realize that I ain't like certain things about myself. That's also a process of what am I healing? Okay. Now, what needed to be healed was I want to say my mental. One, trust. It's still in the process of healing. So, what I needed to heal was the ability to understand that I can trust again. How will I do that? I have to figure out how to heal my trust level? How do I heal that? And why am I having to deal with trust? Oh, because I don't trust nobody? I don't trust. But it doesn't stem from my personal, intimate relationships. It doesn't. It stems from out there in the society I don't trust. Okay. I don't trust white people. I don't trust the police. And I don't trust some other people in this world. I don't trust. I'm very weary. And that also hinders me from delegating things that I know are on my plate that I need to get off my plate and let somebody else do them. It makes it very difficult for me. I can do it. I'm learning to do it. That is how I'm healing. So I had to, once she said it, I was able to, and I want y'all to know, I've been thinking about this since Saturday, okay? I've been just like, oh my God, it's like my brain just went poof, woo, because I have been thinking about this and trying to figure out, okay, how I'm gonna do this. What does she mean by what needs the healing? And what am I healing? And am I healing the right thing? All of that, okay? But what came to my mind was trust. That is one of the things that I am healing is my trust. Okay. And I can't put it on everybody. I can't say I don't trust everybody. I can say I don't trust these group of people based off of what I'm being seen. But yes, I am adult enough to define my trust also by the individuals that are in my circle. I have a plethora of white people that I know and I do trust in the situations in which I know them in. Take them out of that element, put them in a different element. I can't say. We don't know. Never done that before. You see where I'm going? See how it okay. So in doing all of this, what are we healing? And what needs to be healed? I had to realize that what am I healing? What am I healing? I'm healing my trust. I'm healing my trust because I slowly am giving people dictating, or not really dictating, but delegating responsibilities to other people. Okay, everything's not going to go 100% the way I want it to go, but if you complete the task that I asked, that's really the 100% of really. I don't care how you get there. I don't care if you did it at the last minute. I don't care if it took you 14 days. If as long as it got done by the deadline that I gave you, then I'm okay. So I think that part of me is healing or is healed. Trust, and it hasn't been tested though. It hasn't been tested on an intimate level at all, not yet. And so as I look at it, we still have to figure out if it's almost like I fixed my car, but that piece that I fixed, now I got to figure out if it's ready to drive, and I got to test drive it. Haven't done that yet. Okay, let's talk more about what needs to be healed. As I look at things, me personally, is that, and we all have to look at it, is as we go through the darkness, how did we get out of it? A lot of it is because I had to heal by learning about my spirituality. I am not a religious person. Yes, I have a religious background. My family, my grandmother is AME, and my overall family is Southern Baptist. Okay, that's where we come from. Me, I accept all of those religions, but am I practicing them? Absolutely not. But what I am practicing is spirituality. My spirituality, which means it dictates and only works for me. So as I talk about it, please note it might not be the same for you. And that is why I say take the conversation offline with other people. So that you can get the opinion as well. Talk about what did you heal when you was healing? Was your process? We all got different process. Okay. Some people work out to be able to clear their mind, to be able to rid the impure energy that they don't like, that bad energy, because they feel like personal physical appearance is their way of healing. They heal by building the physical body. You can do that if that's what you need. All right. The mental, for me, I believe it's more of a mental thing for me. I am building my mental and my spirituality. My spiritualness is to trust in my spiritual beliefs. Trust, like I've always been told, and I know you all have been told this as well, is God ain't going to come when you want him to come. He gonna come when it's the right time to come. He comes when he want to come. And normally, and majority of the time when he comes, he coming at the right time for what you need. It ain't when you said come, it's when he knows it's time for him to be in place and what you need for him to bring to you, he brings to you. Okay. So for me, I had to learn to give the things that I thought I was meant to fix or deal with. I had to say, here you go. Here you go. And I'm not going to take it back. Nope. Here you go. I'm not going to take it back. That is a very difficult thing for me, but that's part of my healing because that also allowed me to build that spirituality piece. I needed that. Okay. I sage my home. I have candles. I have my crystals. I I have my rainwater. I have my bay leaves, my rosemary. I do all of that. And why do I do it? Because it heals my spirituality. I'm able to understand a little bit better of the things that and I'm able to meet my goals. That's the other thing that it does for me. It allows me to meet my goals. Okay. So that's one of the things that I had to put in place is my spirit. I had to really develop my spirituality and heal. It was able for with my spirituality, I was able to heal the things that that I had gone through in previous relationships that didn't get healed. Okay. Because remember, even though I ended those relationships, I still had them in my backpack. I hadn't taken them out and dealt with them. I just stuck them I put them in a little box, squeezed them together, tied them real tight, and stuck them in that backpack and kept it pushing. So yeah, my backpack was heavy, but I cleaned it out, but I put them things right back in because I can deal with it. Well, you got to deal with it. That's how you're healing. That's what you know needs to be healed is those things that you have just put aside you don't want to deal with. Okay. You don't want to deal with it. And so there are some ways. There are some ways to have that happen. How do we have that happen? I'm gonna tell you. One of the ways is lay on somebody's couch. Find you a professional that don't know you. Don't get your friends, because friends tell you what they gonna tell you what you want to hear. They gonna and because that's our job. Our job is to tell you that you are the shit. Our job is to tell you are the best. As your friend, I'm gonna pat you on the back. Girl, you did that shit. That shit was great. It's not my job to. I mean, yes, I'm your friend, and yes, I notice your flaws just like you notice mine. But it's hard to tell your friend, dude, yeah, you fucked up that relationship. You did da 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 da. It could have been better. You could have did blah blah blah, but you didn't. I wasn't gonna tell you because it's your relationship. So you need somebody else that doesn't know you to be able to look at where you are, where you've been, and be able to tell you some steps to make sure that you have mental health is healthy. That's another thing that I realized I needed to mend was my mental health. I live with chronic migraine. That's what it's called, chronic. It has gotten worse over time because of the stress level that I have in my life, which my body does not understand good stress or bad stress. So I'm just always at high level of migraine. I literally have every day of my life, every breathing moment, a level 10 or 11 when it comes to a migraine. And I've learned to overlook them and get shit done. And I will also take medication here and there. I don't always take it because I don't like to take medications that I feel are not natural. Okay. So, yes, I have a prescription for some stuff, but I also feel like it's not natural. So I try not to take it as often because I don't trust, there we go. I don't trust doctors as much as as much as some people do. All right. But that's a whole nother topic. We're going to talk about that as well at some point. All right. So, one of the things that I think helps you with healing and has helped me with healing is understanding my own boundaries. Isn't that an interesting thought? You never think that you have that when you have boundaries, you never think about the reaction or the effect of those boundaries on your healing. I think that that's something that I needed to do is to heal by me setting boundaries. I'm able to heal the overall heart and mental stress level that I would go through being in a relationship. Okay, so I feel me personally after going through this and meeting everybody, I actually felt very confident that this was that I'm on the right track. It actually just put nouns, it put sentences to what I didn't. I had no idea. I knew I was doing stuff, but did I have a description of what I was doing? Did I actually, could I verbalize what I was doing? And by her asking what needs to heal and what are you healing was very, very pertinent to my growth and my healing. Because what it did was it said to me, okay, what needs to heal is my mind and my heart. What am I healing? I thought my heart was already good, so I wasn't healing that. Okay. I was healing my physical being, my physical body, by trying to put better things into it, by trying to, not put bad stuff into it, by trying not to overeat, by trying to undereat, but and not so much diet, but just eat better. Yes, I am overweight, and I'm probably gonna stay that way because I will never be a skinny mini. I'm never gonna be that. I am 5'1" and I should weigh 127 pounds, and I will look like a true crackhead. That's not gonna happen. All right. So I'm gonna be chunky. The key is, am I healthy and am I healing? Am I eating to avoid healing, or am I trying to cleanse my body so that I am healed? That I'm healing those things by cleansing my body. And I feel like that's what I'm doing. I do a cleansing, a body cleansing. I do a fast. I drink a lot of water. I try to stay away from sodas as much as I can. Um, I'll go without a soda for 3 months and then go out and have a soda, something like that. But I always keep that water. When I tell you this water is no joke, I drink water all the time. Excuse me. And so that is how I'm healing my body, which is what I thought I needed to do in the next step. But see, as I look at things, I have to look at, okay, my healing in 2020 when I was quarantined about sitting in my shit was healing. But what did I heal? Okay, I healed my mind in some aspects and my heart in others. Okay, by really sitting down in my shit and actually looking at each relationship that I've had and what my true role was in those relationships of why they did not succeed. Once I did that, healing began. Healing of my mind, boundaries were set. I got rid of old shit that I don't like. I'm not doing that no more. I see where I made the wrong turn. I agreed with her. I should not have agreed with her. I should have said no. I'd agree. This happened. That incident happened. I could have avoided that incident by X, Y, and Z. You see where I'm going? So once I did that, that healing process comes in. What now? 2023, what now needs to be healed? I'm looking at my mental, and it's not really healing. I'm not going to say it's healing of the mind as much as it is nurturing, feeding the mind, my mental state, my mental health. That's where I'm at this point right now. I think that for masculine identified gay females is our mental health. And we joke about it. Yes, I'm willing to, I will definitely lay on somebody's couch. I don't have no problem with that. And you need to have that. Get you somebody. That's number one. That's number one. Just to talk about what you go through on a day-to-day basis will open up the doors to tell you what needs to be healed and what are you healing. Because if you're healing X and you need to heal Y, you on the right, you gonna heal something that might not need to be healed because it ain't broke, but you thought it, damn, I think that's what I need to heal. You gotta be real with yourself and look at every aspect. Okay. Do I have the attitude that I have about relationships because of X, Y, and Z? Then I need to go back and look at, why do I have that thought? I am a shallow individual. So when people ask me what kind of woman I want, I start with the physical. But please understand, I need her to have some substance between them ears. I need her to be intelligent. I need us to be able to hold a conversation. I need to know what a soup spoon is. I need to know what a salad fork is. Those are things. I'm simple, but it's a long ass list of shit I need. But am I able to give it back to her because I'm healed and I'm ready? Absolutely. On certain things, I can say yes. Now, on everything? No, I can't. I'm still work in progress. But so is she. So is she. Because if I'm not work in progress, I'm doing one or two things. And one of them I can't be. I can't be God. So I'm always going to be working to better myself. Number two is I either think that I have nothing, either I'm a God, which means I don't have nothing that needs to be healed, or I am not being real with myself to understand who I am and where I'm trying to go to. That's the whole thing. I think you got to look at, who are you? Okay. I look at that when people ask me that, I always look at what I'm doing and not really so much who is Amber. And I mean, I have so many roles. I'm somebody's mama. I'm a 26-year-old young man's mama. I am his mother. I am the daughter to two to an old man and an old lady. Okay, my mom and daddy, they are older people, and I'm their daughter. I'm the only daughter they got. Okay, and those are things I look at and I go, okay, this is who I am. Not exactly. It does put part of who I am as entities, as pieces of me. True enough. All right. I'm a founder of a national organization. I am the executive director of a nonprofit. I sit on boards, but is that who I am? Nah, those are like clothes that I wear. But when you strip me down, I'm just I am a black female that loves women, that is hard-headed, stubborn as a mule. I am a typical and proud walking Taurus. But guess what? And I have an ego bigger than Atlanta. Okay. So what does that say about me having to heal? What needs to heal? And I can tell you in so many ways, my ego has been hurt in times, but has it healed? I have to go look at that. That is when you sit down and you have to look at yeah, my ego, yeah, it has been healed. I can get over that. But am I prepared for what might come? Will that ever happen to me again? And will I recognize it before it has harmed me? That's the other part of healing. If you ask me, that's just my opinion. The other part of healing is, will it ever happen to you again? Can I put you in that same situation and you be harmed and you be hurt again in the same way? Absolutely not. No, no, you will not. I can put you in a situation where you say, well, my boyfriend cheated on me. Okay. So the next boyfriend, let's just say he cheated on you too, but you didn't recognize it. Why didn't you recognize? What was it? Because you was looking at what that person had done to say, this is what I'm looking for, the red flag that this person did on this person. You can't do that. That's also something you can't do. Don't take that luggage that someone else from another relationship with you to the next. That is one way of healing. That is something. That is what needs to be healed, is that luggage. Look at that. You got to open up that bag, ladies. Got to open it up. And studs, we hate it. We hate it. We got to be all hard and ain't nothing got through this armor. Nah, she ain't do me wrong. Fuck her. She ain't did me wrong. Yes, she did. And be honest about it. I don't know nobody who ain't had at least one relationship where they got fucked the fuck over. Everybody has had one bad relationship. Come on now. Don't act like you don't do it. Don't do it. Don't sit here and let me and think you fooling anybody. That's one reason why you can't heal. Okay. You can go in the bathroom if you want to, sit in that, look in that mirror and be honest with yourself. You gotta be honest with me. It ain't gonna make me or break me if you sitting right now talking about some shit. I don't need to be healed. I know I'm good. That ended that relationship, fuck her. Okay, that's great. But the next person that comes in, you got to be able to say to yourself, ain't nothing, this a clean slate, baby. Clean slate. Real clean. Ain't no side little items, none of that. I have given you a clean slate because I am healed from what that other person did, or I allowed and let's be real about some shit, what I allowed someone to do to me. Because they can't do nothing to you that you didn't allow them to. Now, you might have had your eyes closed and they got you. That's still you allowed it to happen. Now you got to heal from it. And it's your perception of what you gave to that person is what you got to heal now. The perception of you opened up the doors, was it time to open up all the doors to the church and let everybody and let them in? No, you might have moved too quick. Step back. Just step back a little bit. What looks like gold ain't always gold. My uncle used to tell my cousins, this is what he would say. He would say, and you all know this is this is adult talking. So here we go. My uncle would say to them, all good looking pussy ain't meant to be got. Sometimes you gotta let that good pussy just pass you by because it ain't meant for you. Because it might look good, but once you get it, it might not be for you. So that means it ain't gonna be good. Okay. So you got to take that same attitude. Everything that you got to take that same attitude. Okay. And you got to look at that relationship. You got to say everything in that relationship was not her fault. Everything in that relationship was not my fault. Let me identify what is my fault so that I can not have it happen again, heal from it. Because once you heal from it, it won't happen again. Am I talking too much? Am I talking good? That's the question. Am I talking good? I talk good to myself. I think I'm talking good to myself because I'm taking notes. So I think I'm talking real good. I'm hoping that this is something that resonates in you. Even if you got a different idea, I'm hoping that it does resonate with you to understand about healing. And I think it's important that you should ask yourself all the time, what needs healing? It's like a car. You get in your car, do you just get in your car, put the key in the ignition and drive? And don't ever think about the growth of that car, how long that car gonna last. No, you got to look at the gas tank, because if you don't put gas in it, it's gonna what? This ain't gonna go nowhere. If you hit a bump, let's just say you hit a bump real hard, boom, 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 in your car, and now all of a sudden you hear some red, you got to what? Fix it. You ain't gonna just keep riding down the road and let it be that way, and your front bumper on the ground. No, you're going to fix it. Same thing, same concept, except it's called healing. Being honest, looking at the situation from a different viewpoint of, instead of what you felt at that moment, and being honest about what you felt. And if you need help, lay on somebody's couch. It ain't gonna hurt you. There's some people out there right now. You can call them up. I think they $20-some doctor on demand. Get you somebody. Sit at your house. You don't want to go to them? You ain't got to. There's so many of these online doctors now that we shouldn't have mental illness. We shouldn't, because everybody can get on the internet and get an appointment, lay on somebody's couch, have a conversation. All right, have a conversation. Talk to people about what's going on. And I'm gonna tell you another thing. This little churchy, this little spirituality drop on you, is that a lot of times, because you're not paying attention, a good thing will pass you by because you have not healed properly. God will bring, you ask for something. We talked about this as well at this event, was that you ask for something and God gives it to you. If you are not ready, because he gonna tell you, you gonna say, I want this right here. He gonna say, you're not ready. And you gonna say, I am ready. I want it. I want it. I want it. And he gonna say, okay, you know more than I know. All right, boys, give it to him. And then he brings you your unicorn, your woman that you want to be with, that you've been waiting on for a long time. You've been like, I know this the one. I've been waiting on her. And then you get her, but because you haven't healed, there is that possibility you could lose. Or it's a rough relationship. It has too many turmoils, got a little drama in there. But that's because you didn't sit down, do what you were supposed to do, so you be ready for her. I'm taking my own advice. I ain't just talking to y'all that are listening to me. I'm talking to me too. Okay? I'm talking to me too. Because I am ready for my unicorn. I'm ready. Am I totally healed? I think there's some things I'm still got to work on, but on a major level, I'm ready. I'm healed. I'm aware of who I am. That's also important. To know who you are is and that's what will allow you. See, it's almost like all this kind of goes in intertwines together. Knowing who you are allows you to set proper boundaries so that you don't get hurt, and therefore the healing is not always needed, because you might not need to heal because you didn't get hurt, because you recognized some things before you got too deep. But if you don't quite know all of who you are, don't quite love all of who you are, have not sat in your own shit of who you are, been honest. If you a liar, be a liar. Confess that shit to yourself. I am a liar. How do I change this? Because every relationship or everything that I touch goes to shit because I'm a liar. Then stop. But you got to figure out how to do that. Go get you some help. Go get you some help. Go get you some help. If you somebody, I'm going to tell you something. If you're somebody that the minute you get a person in your life, you start taking care of them. In other words, they ain't got no phone, you go get them a phone. They ain't got no money, you put money in their pocket. They ain't got no car, you giving them your car while you at work. You letting them drive, or you taking them to work all the time. First of all, you hindering them. Second of all, that ain't no relationship. They ain't bringing shit to the table. They taking. And please let me go ahead and say this. And I heard this from a film. A film said this, and I don't know. I want to know if y'all. Yeah, I'm just gonna put it out there. Film said this one day, and I have never forgotten. Pussy is not everything. I heard this. My uncle said this too, because his thing was you can get a meal before you get pussy before you get a meal. And I heard a young lady say the same thing about something to that effect. That this was something that she was like, oh, you can get she was like, you can get a female, you can get a girlfriend, you get anybody right away. You can have sex at any time. You got to know the difference, because if you're somebody that you meet somebody and you're giving of yourself right away, and please understand, I'm not knocking the one night stands. Please understand, I'm not knocking. I am also not knocking if that chemistry is so strong that y'all sleep together on first date. We'll talk about that at a later date as well. But just to knock on it to the fact that if you are not healed, you don't quite know who you are, you're not secure in who you are, you don't have your boundaries in place for the future of your growth, then guess what? You are going to get damaged. And that's what I think you need to look at. It's not what needs healing. What's still damaged about you? Oh, do I have insecurities? Absolutely. Do I know how to deal with my insecurities? Yes. Do I know what triggers my insecurities? Yes. Do I know how to deal with them so that they do not hinder my relationship? Yes. Now, what does that mean? I'll take anything because I know how to deal with it? No. What that means is that my boundaries are set so that I don't have to deal with just any damn thing, but it also allows me to be able to reflect upon it, to make sure that I'm not using what has happened to me in the past, putting on this next person when it might look like she doing the same thing. She might not be doing the same thing. Are y'all with me? Are y'all with me? I think y'all with me. So let's pull it all together, shall we? Okay. First and foremost, look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, who are you? Go back to my very first episode, unpacking your parachute. Talk to yourself about that, because as you give, you're getting something. Is it what you need? It could be trivial shit that you don't even need. You dealing with somebody else's bullshit in your parachute. You got to stop that. How do we stop that? Knowing who you are. Healing yourself. Healing means you go get help if you need it. If you can't identify that you are narcissistic, go find somebody that's a professional that can tell you you're a narcissistic. I know I'm an asshole. So ain't nobody got to tell me that. I know I got a big ego. I know I'm shallow. I know that I am looking for I got a long ass list. But guess what? She gonna have a long ass list too, and I'm gonna meet every last one of them, because we now know who we are. She healing right now. I'm healing right now. Yes, I have this thought that my reason why I ain't met my unicorn, because she doing what I'm doing. We preparing for an amazing relationship. When I find her, it's going to be, woo, boom. It's going to be the bomb. Okay? That intensity that we will have will be because we have healed what needed to be healed, and we know what needs to be. We knew what needed to be healed, and we knew how to heal. Okay? That's what I'm giving to you. Take this offline, guys. Take it offline. Have the conversation. Continue to talk about what needs to be healed and what are you healing. Because you don't want to waste your time healing something that does not need to be healed. When you can throw that shit in the garbage and go, I need to do better. Change who you are. And here's another thing. I used to talk about reinventing myself. Every year at the beginning of the year, I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna reinvent myself. And then I had to look 2019, ending 2019, going into 2020. I looked and I said, actually, it might have been before then, as a matter of fact, but we're gonna take that particular time period. Is looking at myself saying that I am not gonna reinvent Amber anymore. What I'm going to do is I have all these tools. I saw all this stuff that I had collected. From every time I reinvented, I took something off. It's just like changing clothes. I had another shirt over here that I liked, but it wasn't part of my reinventing. But it was a tool that was valuable to me. So now I don't reinvent. I assess what I have, my tools, and I go, oh, you ain't used that tool ever or in a long time. It's time to utilize those tools. And that is what I've been doing. That has helped me to to make sure that I understand who I am, understand what my boundaries are, understand what needed to be healed. And I can honestly say my heart is healed, truly is. My mental state is healed. Okay, so I feel like once I assessed everything and thought about it, I'm still working on that trust. It still needs some healing. I'm laying on somebody's couch about that. And that's what I should do. Right? Because I got to prepare for what comes in my way. What has triggered me in the past won't ever trigger me again. But I have to make sure I stand on a solid foundation as well. Okay. So again, I enjoyed you today. I hope that this is something you can take with you. I hope that I didn't just, blurt out a bunch of shit. I hope this was something that you have been able to really look at or listen to and be able to take some jewels from this and be able to pass it on to someone else. Healing is a serious situation right now. And because we're all wanting that awesome relationship that we all deserve, we must heal. So you got to know what to heal and understand what needs to be healed. Some stuff again that you're healing doesn't need to be healed to make you who you need to be for the next phase of your life. Okay. And I'm looking at this as an overall. I'm not just talking about being in a relationship with the one you want to love or the person that you are loving. That's not all of it. This also, you got to heal from jobs. Okay. Jobs will fuck you up too. I worked for a company, and and I worked for a company. I was a copy center manager, okay, at this store. The store alone wasn't able to, they didn't hold their own. They got their accolades off of the work that we did in the copy center. That's what kept them afloat. Manager had a problem with me. I believe she had a problem with me because I knew her husband. I knew people. We had a circle that I grew up in where when I was growing up. He happened to be in it. He was younger than me, so I didn't really hang out with him. But in the essence, he knew me, he knew my family. We had nice conversations and stuff like that. And I feel like she had an issue with that. Okay. So she was a shitty ass manager. And that job was so stressful that literally, this is how it worked. Every day that I went to work, I had to call into HR to let them know my mental state at the beginning of my shift. And I had to call at the end of my shift and let the gentleman know my mental state and what had happened. That's how bad it was. So don't think that your healing is just because you broke up with Bridget. No, no, no. Just because you broke up with your girl, or because you ended your marriage, or because you ain't got nobody. Nah, healing also has to deal with that work because she damaged me. I could say that PTSD was serious. It's serious. It's no joke, but can you heal from it? I believe I have. You know what I did? I said, first of all, I don't want to work for nobody else. So I ain't got to worry about people having attitudes because you don't like me. You ain't got to like me. First and foremost, you ain't got to like me to work with me or for me. Or for me to work for you or to work with you. I ain't got to like you. Excuse me. I don't even have to know Nothing about your personal life. Just from 9 to 5, you do what you're supposed to do. I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do. We make this shit work. You make me look good, I'll make you look good. Let's keep it pushing. She couldn't do that. Okay. So she did some heinous, it's a long story, but she did some heinous shit. And it affected me. It wounded me. It wounded me bad. And it took years to recover from that. I can honestly say that when I look back at it, it did take years. And it wasn't something that I consciously was healing from. That's the other thing. I knew I was wounded, but I went to the next job. I knew I was wounded, but I got a second job. I knew I was wounded, but I established my business. I knew I was wounded, but I got another job. I moved to another job. I moved to another job. You see where I'm going? I never really healed. I just kept moving because I had bills to pay, shit to do, and I didn't have time to deal with the fact that she had wounded me. Okay. And that I had not ever, that wound was so open, but it was one of those things that as I continued to work and get into positions where I was a leader in the job, either manager or district manager over people, it was allowed me to heal, but it also allowed me not to do what she did to me to others. I did not wound other people. I did not have, I made sure I boosted them. I made sure I gave them their accolades. I made sure I gave them their flowers. Make sure I told them that they did a great job. And because of them looking good, I looked good. When I bonused, they bonused. That's different. Now you see what I'm saying? I was wounded by something, but I did not allow it to affect the next steps that I made. And through that, that is how I was able to heal. Okay. So again, I share that with you. And we have come to the end of our program tonight. And I have had a wonderful time. Thank you for allowing me to share my personal life, as well as hopefully I dropped some jewels to you. Reign Supreme is on Instagram, on Facebook. Please go and just go and like it, follow her. Brittany is the one of the founders of that organization. It is amazing. I'm gonna be Real Boys Talk is gonna do some stuff with Reign Supreme. We are heavily a supporter and fan of Reign Supreme and Brittany. Anything that Brittany touches, we want to be a part of. All right. Again, go be friends with her. If you're in the Atlanta area, we're going to be doing some stuff for the masculines. You're going to want to be there. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it because it was an amazing space. The energy was beautiful. Okay. And also look out for the gay aunties. The gay aunties them ladies are amazing. They're a hoot. They are amazing. I learned a lot from them as well. And we're going to talk about one of the things that they talked about was organic relationships and understanding boundaries. I think those are things that we should have conversation about as well. So I might be able to ask them to be on one day, and we can talk about organic relationships and understanding your boundaries, and they can help us. That's another way of healing, is understanding your boundaries. So everything is a positive here. Everything should be a positive. No matter how I bring it to you, it should always exude positiveness. All right. And again, I'm gonna say it again, go back to the first introduction of Real Boys Talk. It is about unpacking your parachute. You can listen to that at least every quarter. Because as you go through the year, you are picking up stuff and you giving stuff. We always giving. We open up. It's like what did Uncle Clifford say? Rule number 527. I know that's the wrong rule number, but that's how he say it. And then he says you can't pour everything. You can't pour all of you to everybody. You need to keep some for yourself. Think about that. I know I watched a pastor do a sermon on the wine skin. Y'all know about the wine skin. Back in the day, they used to put the wine in the skin. It was mostly cow. And I believe the Indians did this. This is how they were able to keep their wine, stuff of that nature. But what he talks about is that every time you pour wine in, you're pouring into someone else, right? You're pouring into their glass, you're pouring your wine of who you are into there. And eventually, when you get ready to pour some wine for yourself, there's nothing in there. So we have to make sure, because here's the thing, that also is a sign of healing. It's when you understand who to pour to and who not to pour. I don't pour to everybody no more. I used to pour to everybody. I don't do that no more. I don't do that no more. So see, there's a healing that has happened there that has said, not that I'm ugly about it. No, but it says, first of all, I don't have to pour it for everybody. It ain't for I ain't for everybody. Right? So take that with you. We're going to talk some more about it. I love the subject of healing. I love the subject of making a better you. And that's the whole deal of this. I'm going to be a better me. You're going to be a better you. So the series that we're about to embark on with Real Boys Talk is several. I have sought out the TD Jakes book, Soars, and the workbook. I'm going to be working from that as well. I have also purchased the Project 369. I will be working from there. I have also purchased a Dr. Phil book that we're going to be working from. I believe it's called Life. I'm not for sure because I don't have it right in front of me. But these are things that I'm going to be doing, that I'm going to be bringing to you all. And what it should do, it should help you to heal what needs to be healed. That way you know and can recognize what needed to be healed through our conversations. And it is, what are you healing? So that you will know what you're healing, why you're healing it, and what the outcome will be from healing. Okay? We're going to utilize all those resources to build us, and we're going to take them step by step as we go through. The first thing we're going to talk about basically when we get ready to have the conversation, so that you know which will be the next episode that I do on that Real Boys Talk Health series does, is really going to be talking about, again, who am I, or who are you? We're going to talk about our state of consciousness, faith, and rebirth, and I am. We're going to, excuse me, we're going to start there, and then we're going to start talking about some different things and different activities, and hopefully we might even have somebody joining that can also put a little oomph, a little extra on our knowledge. All right. What I want you to do today is be blessed, bask in your happiness, be proud of who you are, where you've come. Look behind you every once in a while. Just look back and realize how many steps you've made to where you are now. Don't worry about where you're going. Not just yet. Don't be frustrated that you haven't made it to where you're supposed to be. Look at where you come from. Look at where you started and look at where you are now. Give yourself a hand. Praise yourself for that, because that's what's going to encourage you to make the next step. Until we meet again, I want you all to have a blessed day. Amazing. Be amazing. Tell somebody else to be amazing. And also, don't forget, if you need us, go to realboystalk.org. That's our website. Stud Health on, I believe, Facebook, and on Instagram, it is Real Boys Talk. And also, if you need to email me, if you are someone that has products, you want me to look at them, want me to promote them. If you also want to talk, you got a subject matter you want us to talk about, you got a book coming out, we need to talk about it, please feel free to hit me up at realboystalk@gmail.com. All right, guys, you have a great day. Thank you very much. Talk to you again.